Alright, this is the start of part 2 of troubleshooting a fellow YouTuber's wiring harness, his swap harness. Okay, so I'm waiting on he's sending me his gas pedal plug because he didn't include it in his wiring harness, but gas pedal is pretty simple to hook up. So I might use my connector on his temporarily just to test it. But right now I'm using my wiring harness, test his computer for the throttle follower test with the gas pedal, okay? So in my other videos I always show my Autel reader. Tough guy, let's see, tough, hyper tough from Walmart, but it's an Autel, A-U-T-E-L brand. And they make a lot of code readers. So right now, like I showed before with my hand-shaped video, all I have is the throttle body hooked up, and we're gonna turn this guy on. Let's see. Okay, so this is real quick. Once you plug that in, once this wiring harness is hot, this comes on. And then my phone shows that it wants me to connect to this HT200. So now let's turn on my ignition switch. There's the handshake. The light turns, it looks green on my phone, but it's actually blue now. So, okay. Here's the program that comes with the reader. We're going to do the throttle follower test and the setup. So let's go to service mode. And I'm going to go down to, let's see, hope you can read that. We're going to go to the throttle. I showed this in my other video. So we're going to go to Dodge. And we're going to make it read. We're going to do an automatic selection where it reads. So instead of me putting it manually, I'm going to tell it to read. Read the VIN. It blinks a little bit. It reads his VIN number, and I'm going to say okay. This might be a long video, so I might just post this up there, give you part 3. Once I have his wiring harness hooked up to my gas pedal. He's sending me his gas pedal connector because I don't know how long his wires are, but I'm going to temporarily hook mine up. Okay, so Durango VIN number, I'm going to say yes. So we're going to do 2 things here. We're going to set the pedal, full throttle. Okay, so right now it says diagnosis or hot function. I'm going to do the hot function. I'm going to program the pedal, okay? So I'm going to show you that. Because right now this is just mainly testing his PCM, okay? So right now I'm going to do the learn throttle, electronic throttle control right there. So while this is communicating, okay, here's the throttle cable when you're looking at it like this, okay? You've got your 5-volt supply, pin 27, the black connector. You've got your apps number 2 signal, pin 36 white connector, pin 17 white connector, pin number 3, which says apps 2. You see that signal? Pin 3, pin 4 is, and I hope you can read my writing. Pin 16 white connector, pin 5. Pin 25 white connector, apps 1, and then pink 5 volts. and I have it to the orange connector pin 20, did I say 29? And the cam, crank, and oil. So it's the 5-volt signal. So I'm not sure that's 29 because I've got to look at my other paperwork and try to read my writing, but I think it's pin 29. It doesn't matter because if you have all your other diagrams, let's see, pin 29 of orange connector. Let's see what that goes to my paperwork here. Black, orange, pin 29, 5-volt supply, crank sensor, pin 2 throttle. Okay, so that's where that goes, right? So back to the throttle gas pedal test. So it's saying, learn electronic throttle control. So we're gonna hit OK. It's buzzing the throttle body. And it's saying press and hold accelerator pedal to the floor. Throttle must be held to the floor. Press OK when ready. So I'm going to try to push this all the way down. Kind of hard to do with one hand, and I'm going to hit OK with my other hand and my other finger. So 5, 4. Sorry, I'm used to doing this with 2 hands. So, okay, release accelerator pedal. Hit OK. So yeah, this little, it was a $49 Autel from Walmart. Okay, it's reading the home position of the pedal, not being depressed. And the learn is complete. So let's say OK. And now we're going to do the throttle follower. Okay, so the learn passed. So now that the pedal is programmed for this to the CCM and my pedal. I guess all the electronics in here might be a little different for every pedal. So it's looking for, you know, closed position, full open position. I'm going to hit OK. And now we're going to do the throttle control follower test. I did this on my running video before I started it up, but this is just the follower test now, just by itself. So, lights blinking. It's actually blinking blue, even though it looks green on the phone. My spare throttle body. Remember, nothing else is hooked up. We don't have any other connectors plugged in. This is just testing his PCM to see if it'll talk to the gas pedal. Okay. Here's what it says. Engine must be stopped to carry out this test. To carry out this test, press the throttle pedal and electronic throttle control should follow. So, I'm going to say OK. And I've shown this before. The throttle's buzzing. Throttle body's buzzing. And so now I'm going to hit this pedal. And as I'm pushing it down, this is happening. So all I'm doing is pushing this pedal up and down, and this is happening, okay? So now this is my good wiring harness with my pedal connector right here. And I'm gonna take my fellow YouTuber's wiring harness that I showed in the part 1 video, and I'm gonna hook my gas pedal connector into his wiring harness, and we're gonna power it up. And I'm still waiting on an ODB2 connector. We eBayed one because he didn't send me one of these either. $10, $9.99. I'm waiting on that because I don't have a spare one, even though I have all this other junk here. I don't have another ODB2, which I usually just chop out of a car in the junkyard. So I've got all this other junk over here. And I don't see one, so, all right, so we can do this part, and I can't do this unless I rig something up. on his wiring harness. But that'll be the next video once I either get his plug or wire mine in and wire in his ODB2. Once it comes from eBay, I should have it in a couple days. So this is part 2, part 3 to come. It's just so you have some content. All right, guys. So yeah, this is all kinds of stuff you can do on your phone with one of these $49 readers. I think it went up to $59 now, but I got it from Walmart. I don't know if they still sell them because I haven't looked lately, but that's where I got that one. All right, guys. Part 3 coming up.